flag. They're coming to their seats. Here? And the kids, if you'll go off there. Yeah. Yeah. You guys with the white flag right there, stop. Yeah. You guys go right here to the speaker. Yeah. Go a little further, a little further.
It's on the artificial surface, which is really hot. Yeah, I can feel it. You can feel it coming up. You put the other side and just grab the side of it. Grab the side of it. Board's on.
Video ready? Is the video playing? The video? Well, thank you, everybody. I appreciate you coming out today for this. Yep, you can sit, please. I'm sorry. Yeah. I didn't know if you want to sit in a hot chair.
Hot chair.
Yeah, hot chair, hot weather, humidity. It's all good. This is what we know as Baltimore-Maryland. This is the heat of the summer. This is what we expect to see when the FIFA World Cup comes to Baltimore-Maryland in 2026. So good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today at this gorgeous facility, M&T Bank Stadium, owned by the state of Maryland, with our great partners, the Baltimore Ravens. It is a pleasure to be with all of you today as we jumpstart our campaign to win the World Cup for Baltimore-Maryland.
Yeah.
Baltimore-Maryland 2026 is centered around creating new legacies for FIFA, for U.S. soccer, and of course, our local communities through the beautiful game of football. FIFA World Cup matches will be a tremendous transformative, I'll get it out, thank you, transformative for sporting, culture, and economic impact on the city and on the state of Maryland. In creating enduring legacies that can be attributed to FIFA, World Cup, and the game of football. We are immensely proud to support FIFA in this effort. Our bid has total political support from every level of regional government. They back our campaign. Therefore, I am delighted to announce the state of Maryland's Lieutenant Governor, Boyd Rutherford, and the Mayor of Baltimore, Brandon Scott, will lead our efforts as co-chairs for Baltimore, Maryland's 2026 FIFA World Cup Host Committee. This is a big moment for us. The momentum that will reflect in the huge support of all of you will showcase the city and the state at a level never seen before. The Lieutenant Governor and the Mayor are taking active roles in showing the global football family that Baltimore, Maryland stands ready to welcome the FIFA World Cup and the world to Baltimore, Maryland. Communities across our region are also ready to open their arms to visiting teams and fans and to celebrate the world's largest sporting events and give them a tournament experience like no other. A shared love of the beautiful game is what unites us. It is our vision that the accelerated development of football and the development of a new major market for the game in North America is truly unique and not being rivaled by anybody else. The Lieutenant Governor and Mayor have both shown great support of our bid since we started. And there is no better team, 1-2 punch in the nation to help our campaign continue forward. We are really looking forward to working alongside both of these great leaders and our partners across this great city and across this great state to show FIFA, to show U.S. soccer, and show the world that Baltimore, Maryland is unrivaled in its opportunity to inspire the next generation of football fans, both at home and abroad. I now have the pleasure of welcoming my big boss, one of my big bosses, to the podium, and one of your co-chairs for the Baltimore-Maryland 2026 FIFA World Cup Host Committee, Mr. Boyd Rutherford.
Thank you, Terry. Well, good morning.
Good morning.
It's great to be out here in the sun and on the hot AstroTurf. I think the Stadium Authority and Dick Cass didn't let us go out on the field right now, but it is great to be here at M&T Stadium, one of the premier venues in the country for American football, but soon international football as well. Yeah, I'm honored to join with my fellow co-chair, Baltimore's Mayor Brandon Scott, in this campaign to bring the FIFA World Cup in 2026 to Baltimore, Maryland. You know, soccer or football, as is known in the rest of the world, brings people together. And the love of the game transcends physical boundaries as well as age, race, language, and nationality. You know, as a soccer fan myself, I've witnessed the excitement and pride that the sport fosters in other parts of the world. And I'd like to see that come here to Baltimore, to see that same excitement and pride right here. The last time the World Cup was held in the United States was in 1994, and I'm really thrilled that Baltimore is now in the running for the 2026 games. You know, Maryland is in a very strong position to host the World Cup. You know, we have these existing infrastructure and investments that have been made in this facility, but in other places to make the fan experience a wonderful one. And unlike maybe some other places, there's no rush to build a new stadium or accommodations or entertainment. You know, we have world-class venues such as right here at M&T Bank Stadium that are already in place and continuing to invest in this venue and others to make sure that there's a wonderful experience for the fans as well as the athletes. M&T Bank Stadium, of course, as you all know, is a short walk from downtown and other Baltimore small businesses, restaurants, hotels, and other attractions to welcome visitors to our city and state. The state has continuously invested in upgrades in the stadium and the surrounding area, as well as the transportation infrastructure to make it more accessible and efficient for residents and visitors. When I envision the World Cup coming to Baltimore, I see fans and athletes and the press from around the world arriving in one of our three or all three of our major international airports, including BWI Thurgood Marshall Airport. And here on the streets of Baltimore, visitors from around the globe actually coming to our great city. And I imagine the fans being crowded on the light rail, MARC train, the water taxis to come to this venue or to take in the various sites in the area. And most importantly, that I can envision seeing 71,000 fans in this stadium enjoying the beautiful game. I believe we can make that vision a reality, which could bring hundreds of millions of dollars to our state and to our city. Large sporting events like the FIFA World Cup bring sports enthusiasts and tourists, but unfortunately, they also bring some other activities. And we're committed to make sure that the FIFA World Cup is a safe experience in Baltimore. Our proactive efforts include collaborating with the Baltimore City Police Department, the Mayor's Office, and other partners to disrupt efforts on human trafficking who may try to exploit vulnerable individuals through force, fraud, or coercion. Our administration has focused a priority on addressing labor and sex trafficking in Maryland since day one. We've invested nearly $59 million to support evidence-based and comprehensive anti-human trafficking efforts across the state, strengthen penalties associated with labor and sex trafficking, and expanded the network connecting victims of trafficking to victim services across the state. As we speak, state and local partners are developing plans to mitigate the risk and to address concerns related to this human exploitation, as well as educating our law enforcement and the public in terms of signs of labor or sex trafficking. And we look forward to sharing this robust plan with the public as we get a little closer to the World Cup bid. This FIFA World Cup bid is also an opportunity to elevate soccer, the beautiful game in North America, and cultivate a growing and passionate fan base. There was a Gallup poll that was conducted in April of 2019 that found that 35% of Americans surveyed were soccer fans, or at least, somewhat a fan of the beautiful game. Now that is up from 19% in 2012, just nearly doubling in 3 years. Maryland is a state with a population of more than 6 million people, and it is not unusual to find small and large groups of individuals kicking the ball around as the weather allows, as well as indoor facilities that we have around the state. We're also home to the next generation of soccer players in the United States. There are some 60,000 youth soccer programs that participate throughout our state. In June, I was able to partner with former U.S. Women's National Team member Rachel Campanero and Baltimore Blast goalkeeper William Vanzella on a youth vaccination event in nearby Howard County. The event resulted in more Marylanders getting vaccinated against COVID-19, as well as young soccer fans had the opportunity to spend an afternoon with two of their role models and bond over their love of the game. Those youth players will grow up to eventually become, many of them, collegiate as well as professional players. And of course, our University of Maryland is known for its championship Maryland soccer team, and a number of former Terps have gone on to play for the U.S. men's national team, as well as professional teams, not just here, but around the world, including the backup goalkeeper, Stefan, who's playing for my team, Man City. Unfortunately, they didn't make it through the Champions League, but that's another story. But the Baltimore-Maryland 2026 bid is an investment and will be an investment in our communities, in our youth as well. And we're partnering with the United Nations sanctioned international youth charity, Football for Peace, to bring new youth and community development programs to Maryland that will teach valuable social skills, peaceful conflict resolution, leadership, and teamwork through the beautiful game. And a large part of our fan base and a pipeline to these future professional and collegiate players are the more than 270,000 foreign-born individuals who've moved to Maryland in the last 10 years. And thousands of them are hailing from soccer-loving regions around the world, including El Salvador, who won last night in the Gold Cup, for those of you who are following, and they're going to the semifinal, Nigeria, India, Guatemala, and others, who many of those countries participated in previous World Cups, and we know that there are going to be a large number of fans that will be here to root on their home countries or the countries of their birth. I mean, that even includes some Brits who are here. I have a friend who is a big fan. He's a fan of Watford, for anyone who follows English football. I mean, you have to be a real fan to follow Watford. I'm sorry if there are any Watford fans out there. But so we have that base right here. So bringing the World Cup to our region in 2026 is a unique opportunity to showcase our state, our city on the world stage, and to highlight the rich history, the diversity of our communities, and our hosting ability on a global scale. So we're looking forward to this, and I invite every Marylander to join in our journey to bring the FIFA World Cup to Baltimore in 2026. Thank you very much.
At this time, I'll ask Mayor Scott to come up and give a few remarks on behalf of the city.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I think Terry said it best when he said the Lieutenant Governor are the best 1-2 punch. I like to say that we're like Joe Louis and Muhammad Ali. We always win. But I am glad to join the Lieutenant Governor in support of Baltimore's bid to host the 2026 FIFA World Cup. I also like to thank our partners at Maryland Sports, but also our partners at the Ravens, who are a part of this effort. Chairing this bid committee alongside the Lieutenant Governor is a great honor for me, and we are both, as you know, fully committed to working together to make this a reality for our city. This bid is a strategic priority because a successful campaign will achieve great benefits for all of Baltimore, all of Maryland, and our entire region, for FIFA and for world football. FIFA can have total and absolute confidence in Baltimore to deliver technically perfect World Cup matches that will have wide-ranging community benefits on and off the field. This will also leave a legacy for football that will be enjoyed for generations to come. This bid is underpinned by full governmental support from every level. What is more is that we have the necessary, if you heard already, infrastructure and funding in place and technical requirements that are guaranteed. We can do this here, we can do it now, and we can do it better, to be very, very blunt. Not only will FIFA be here a great commercial success in our city, it will more importantly benefit our residents by providing jobs and bringing in revenue that will equitably reinvested in our communities to make our city and state a better place. The potential economic impact of hosting matches for U.S. cities has been estimated at $480 million in net benefits, and Baltimore will use that from FIFA 2026 as a catalyst on how we continue to grow and improve our city. Baltimore 2026 will play a major role, as you heard from the Lieutenant Governor, about the further investments in our facilities like our stadium, like our transportation, like Rash Field here in Baltimore, to make sure that this project benefits our city as we move on. And also, let me also be very clear. As the Lieutenant Governor said, we will make sure that this is a safe World Cup, that we will not tolerate some of the things that have happened and people try to use wonderful events like this to take advantage of folks and do things that we should not see anywhere across the world. As the first ever 48-team World Cup, more than 3 million fans are expected to attend live games across the tournament in 2026. We stand ready to invite the world's soccer and football family, whether fans, players, or administrators, into our warm, welcoming city. As the Lieutenant Governor said, our state has welcomed people from across the globe. Our city is a very welcoming city. My neighborhood, Mr. Lieutenant Governor, is a home to some of the most fierce football or soccer matches you will find in the world, probably, because we have folks from Africa, from Europe, all in one neighborhood in Baltimore City, competing amongst each other. But actually this week, they're competing against the rest of the city in the Charm City games in soccer, which I know they will win again, as they always do. But we welcome them in, and to demonstrate our outstanding mix of local hospitality, culture, food that you will find nowhere else in the world. There is no food scene like Baltimore's. We have the best, and not just in seafood, I would add. Art and more. Our diversity here in Baltimore is our strength. We are a world city. We have communities from every part of the world living in Baltimore, and they will welcome the teams and fans who arrive with open arms. We will be a home away from home for every team, and they will be greeted by a rich, multicultural, and multilingual international atmosphere each and every day. We cannot wait to welcome FIFA and the teams here to Baltimore City and to M&T Bank Stadium. And from the moment they arrive, visitors to Baltimore will experience a World Cup host city like no other. Our compact hosting footprint with efficient public transportation links and the ability to walk to downtown, Federal Hill, and other neighborhoods, M&T Bank Stadium's atmosphere and culture of winning that we normally celebrate here on Sundays, Dick Cash, and we know, as we say here, and the last thing that I'll say, the last thing we say every Sunday, you hear a song here that says, all we do is win, so let's go out and win this bid to bring FIFA 2026 to Baltimore. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Lieutenant Governor. At this time, I have the honor of bringing up the president of the Baltimore Ravens and one of our key partners in this entire effort. Dick, I personally want to thank you and your team's commitment to excellence, because your team sets the standard for how we do things when it comes to putting things on in this building, but also how we do things out in the community. So without further ado, Dick Cass, president of the Baltimore Ravens.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Very happy and excited to be here to support this bid. Really appreciate the leadership of the Lieutenant Governor and the Mayor. It's great to have the political leaders behind this, and it's going to be essential if we're going to win this bid. You know, I think our job at the Ravens in connection with this bid is to make sure that our stadium is ready for the games and for the matches that we're going to have here. And it's a commitment we're going to make sure we are going to be ready. And that commitment is really twofold. One is just the fan experience. After every Ravens game, we have 70,000 people here. We poll our fans online about how we did in terms of food, service, egress, ingress, getting in, getting out of the stadium, parking. And we learn from that and we make changes in response to that. That's done at every NFL venue around the league every week. We do very, very well compared to NFL teams in terms of the grades that we receive from our fans. We've learned from that. We've learned a lot, and we keep getting better. And we will bring that same type of fan experience and commitment to the World Cup matches that are going to be played here. So we're very excited about that. Our second commitment is to make sure our stadium continues to be state-of-the-art. We are a state-of-the-art stadium. We have invested with the Maryland Stadium Authority over the last 3.5 years over $140 million. We at the Ravens are putting another $6 million in this offseason to upgrade the Wi-Fi yet again. And we will continue to make upgrades at this stadium right until the day the matches begin. It's essential. If you're going to have a first-class NFL stadium, or in this case, a first-class football venue for international matches of the type we expect to have here, you have to have a first-class stadium. And this is a first-class stadium. We are ready to host these games. We've got a grass field already. We'll have to make very few modifications to our stadium to host World Cup matches. We're committed to getting that done with the Maryland Stadium Authority. But in addition, we will make additional changes as necessary to make sure we are world class. We were the first NFL stadium, indeed the first outdoor stadium in America to receive gold status, certified status for the environmental efforts we made to make our stadium clean as well. And we are proud of that status. We've actually achieved platinum status at our facility out in Owings Mills, but we're going to continue to maintain that status, which is really important to us. So we are committed to making this happen. Really appreciate the government's support. Maryland Stadium Authority and Terry are fully committed to this. The business community is committed. We need to get behind this. It's important for our city. We can make this happen. It's a game changer, not only for our city, but for the sport of football here in this region. And that's a great sport, and let's bring it here. We at the Ravens are all in. Thank you.
Thank you, Dick. Before we turn your attention to the video boards, we're going to do a little Q&A with the media first, and then we'll show you, some other spectacular things that are going on associated with the bid for Baltimore, Maryland. Do I have any questions for any of our panelists? If you can, please step up to the microphone.
How you doing?
Hey, Stan.
Stan Charles, Pressbox and PressBoxOnline.com. I don't mean for my question to perhaps give the inference that I'm giving up on the idea of having a game here during the 2026 World Cup, but could you talk a little bit about how lucrative being a host city candidate can be?
Yeah, I can address that one. You're talking about an event that will potentially bring 5 to 7 matches to the city of Baltimore and the state of Maryland. You're talking about an economic windfall of excess of $300 million during that period of time. But you're also talking about the secondary spend that will happen in the market because we'll have fans here. For example, during the World Cup, it's a 30-day event, 30-plus day event. We will have a base camp here. There will be nations that will be headquartered in Baltimore, Maryland, that will be here throughout the tournament. So when their team is headquartered here, their fans are headquartered here. And that means an external grab of additional. But the games themselves right now are projected in excess of $300 million for the city of Baltimore and the state of Maryland.
Yeah, hey guys, Childs Walker with the Baltimore Sun. Kind of a two-part question. First, what is the timeline that you're expecting in terms of when they'll make their decision? And what opportunities will you guys have going forward to sort of make your case with USA Soccer and FIFA officials?
Great question. That question I'll answer this way. The timeline is immediate. We have been working through the pandemic to make sure that the people you see up in the audience are engaged and invigorated to help us deliver a world-class bid and world-class communication to U.S. Soccer, FIFA, as well as engaging our communities. And you see these young people out here with it today. This whole process is about them. It's about giving them a better place to live, work, and play in the future. The reason we're doing this, 1, we got a great city. 2, we got a great state. 3, we got a next generation that is going to take the love of this game in their leadership roles, in their academic roles, in their pursuit of excellence because of this event. So between now and late September and mid-November, so FIFA delegation and the U.S. Soccer Federation will be here in late September to mid-November. The exact dates are still unknown. We're still waiting for some of the international travel restrictions to lift before there's an exact timeline, but we have a narrowing of the window. So between now and that time period, we got to build the fervor of the international game. We got to continue to bring people to the table to, and join us. We got to continue to raise funds and capital to help us execute this world-class opportunity. As I said, we got 2 huge champions right now, and we have a great partner with the venue and our partners in the Maryland Stadium Authority to pull this off. But once they do their site visit, decision day is in the late first quarter or early second quarter of 2022 now because of some of the delays that have occurred. And then that's where the heavy lift really starts to come into play, because when they announce Baltimore, Maryland on decision day, we got to be ready to move forward. Any more? So, without further ado, let's turn your attention to the video boards and see who else is in.
So what would you think if I told you that the 2026 World Cup is coming to Baltimore? Well, you'd probably say it's a long shot, right? Fact is, Baltimore has always been the underdog, and we have always risen to the challenge. So, here we are again, taking our shot at 2026, a chance to host match play on the world stage. Is it a long shot? Well, yeah. But guess what? We like it that way. This is Baltimore, a place made famous by long shots and unexpected victories. An underdog that's always been up for the challenge. A challenge we're happy to accept.
World Cup in Baltimore, Maryland? I'm in.
Hey, this is Aguchi Onyewu, and I'm in.
I'm in!
We're in! I'm in. Let's get the world to Baltimore, including the Italians.
We're in!
I'm Dr. Nadine Finnegan-Carr, the Director of the Prevention of Adolescent Risks Initiative at the University of Maryland School of Social Work. And I'm here to tell you, we're in.
I'm Heather Amador, Deputy Director of Victim Services Policy and Programs at the Governor's Office of Crime Prevention, Youth and Victim Services, and we are in.
I'm in for Baltimore to host the World Cup in 2026.
I'm Patrick Queen of the Baltimore Ravens, and Baltimore is ready to host the World Cup. I'm in.
We're in!
I'm in.
I'm in.
We're in!
We're in!
We're in!
Cuenta conmigo.
I'm in.
We're in!
Estoy con Baltimore-Maryland 2026.
I'm in.
We're in! Hi, I'm Justin Tucker, American footballer who used to play football. Here to say that I would love to see the World Cup come to Baltimore, Maryland. I'm in.
I'm Rodney Dewey with BGE. I'm all in for the World Cup in 2026 in Baltimore.
Hey, this is Ronnie Stanley, and I want to see the World Cup in Baltimore. Let's get it.
I'm in.
I'm in. I'm in.
I'm in.
I'm Freddie Gavin with the Baltimore Orioles, and I'm in.
Hi, I'm Pete Caringi, head soccer coach at UMBC. I'm in to bring World Cup to Baltimore.
And I'm in.
I'm in.
Oh, yeah, I'm in.
The Maryland Soccerplex is in for the 2026 World Cup in Baltimore.
I'm in.
Hi, this is Bernie Lahat with Whiting Turner, and I'm happy to say we're in.
We're in.
We're in.
I'm Robin Lee with Baltimore Homecoming, and we're in.
Comptroller Peter Francho. I'm all in.
We're in.
I'm Trey Mancini from the Baltimore Orioles, and I'm in.
Oh, hi, Baltimore. As the narrator of this video, I just wanted to tell you that I'm in.
Attending today. At this time, our speakers will be moving off to another obligation with the international and media market. Those in the stands, there's waters up in the concourse. Please take a moment to talk to one another, talk about your energy and your excitement about the game, and we're going to be back at this. And as everybody says, I'm in, I know you're in, we're going to make this happen for Baltimore, Maryland. Thank you.
Yeah.